What's up, YouTube? Adam Grover coming back at you with another video. So I really wanted to show you guys every step of the way on the wagon, but today started out actually feeling pretty bad, to the point where I really wasn't going to work on the car. Like, I just wanted to come inside. I had it planned to come out here and work on it, but I was like, I'm not feeling it. But did some family stuff, and then when I got home, I kind of forced myself, just sucked it up and said, you know what, I gotta get this thing done no matter what. So I'll work as long as I can on it until I just can't. So that's what I did. As I worked on it, felt kind of crappy, you know, and then eventually, after I got some liquids in me, I started to feel a little bit better, but chipped away at it pretty good. So I'll show you guys what I did and where I got so far. So put a little light on the subject and show you guys what happened. So I cut the inner aprons out and the frame rails. And got the boxes made. Now, they're not 100% done. I got to get more steel. But they are welded in. It is ugly at the moment. And I got to finish welding them in. So just this side is welded that you guys see. Let me see if I can put better light on. There we go. So just the inside of the engine bay is welded. So I still got to do, tripping over the jack. Still got to do in here. So I'm going to get a whiz wheel, whiz all this in here, weld it, weld this stuff up, weld this, probably tack this together, and I got to lay a plate in here, which kind of works out because I'm going to lay a plate in here, butt weld it here, maybe overlay it in, not sure yet. Weld a plate here, have it come out, wrap it around to the front, which this piece is going to get cut off, so I got to trim that back. But a lot of work. It's getting there slowly. This is with no tape measure. This is cutting stuff, trimming it to fit. I mean, it's not perfect by any means. You can see this isn't contoured to the strut tower, nothing, you know. This is, I cut it so it fits inside. That's all I cared about. But it's not a show car. It's better than it was. Probably about equal to how they are factory. As far as strength goes, it might be stronger than factory. If not, at least the same. So, this is the K-member I'm going to use. So this K-member, it fits the budget of the car. For a minute, I forgot where this came from. And then I remembered that a couple years ago, I bought a car basically for the K-member. And when I got the car home, we pushed the car, or as we were pushing the car rather, to get it to the trailer after buying it, I realized that it either had a welded rear in it or it had a spool. So it ended up having a spool, axles, and I think C-clip eliminators. That rear ended up in my buddy's car. This K-member came out of that car. I paid like $600 or $700 for the car, I think. Parted the car out, sold the car, and the K-member ended up being free. So originally this was for my other wagon, and then I decided I wanted to put a Coyote in it, so I put this K-member in my black Mustang. The rack is a rack that I bought, I think, new. At the time it was $110. The bump steer kit, I'm not sure what I paid for the bump steer kit. I want to say 50 or 75 bucks for the bump steer kit. It was used, basically brand new, but secondhand. So I don't know why I always look this way, but the camera's over here. But so there's really not any money in this setup. The rack I paid out of pocket for, and the bump steer kit, so probably say like 200 bucks, and then by the time I do a steering shaft, probably like maybe $400 into this whole setup so far. That's not counting, I think the coilovers came off of that car too. But I might just buy a coilover kit at this point, because either way I have to buy it for one of the cars. And I'm gonna have to buy a K-member for my black car. But as far as the budget goes for the wagon, the K-member's free. The black car gets more money invested in it because that'll have a new K-member in it. So that's the way I look at it when I do this stuff. You know, I'm not putting the money into the wagon, it's going into the black car if I have to replace a part that I stole from the black car. Like I said, this K-member was free. The black car didn't have a K-member in it at the time, and so now it's in this car. It's back to the way it was, no K-member. So I still got some more stuff I gotta do. More stuff to buy. I wasn't gonna do all this with the manual steering and all, but I cannot justify putting an old power rack back into this car. I just can't justify doing that when it's apart. I have this stuff, it's in a car that isn't together, that needs a lot of work. Just made more work for myself later on, but at least this stuff will get some use. So it's been sitting in the car for a couple years now, and you know, I just haven't gotten around to doing that car. Been playing with other crap. Probably should have put the time into that thing, but that car is a whole different deal. I'm not sure which way I want to go with it yet. So, getting back to this. So this side's pretty ugly, but it's all going to get ground down. I'll grind all this flat, re-weld it again, grind it flat. Back there I got to put a patch panel or something in, or fill it with weld, grind it, fill it, and then wrap my weld underneath, and then weld all inside like I already told you guys. And then up here I'll probably just tack this in. This probably will just get welded maybe here, and then I'll fold metal around this and then weld it right here after this is cut. And this way it'll just have a weld here, be welded down bottom, welded up top here, and then it'll fold into this frame rail section in the back and be welded all the way down. You can see it's not 110% perfect. This front bolt hole is slightly out of alignment. The main thing that's important is that this is level with this K-member. So you can see K-member sits pretty flat. I have the jack holding it up, and I had the back bolts tight back here. So this way it sits where it's supposed to sit, and I marked all this stuff with the K-member just dangling where it was level against this frame rail where the K-member sat flat. Now if you jack this up, there's gaps. You can see the gaps whether it's in the back or front. I couldn't tell you now, but when you're doing it, or when I was doing it, I could see the gap. So I kept going up with it and made that frame rail where it was straight with that back side, and then it was level with the rest of the K-member. So that's how I went about it. So it is level to the K-member. K-member looks pretty even height-wise from what I can see just by the naked eye. I suck with a measuring tape. So this is kind of how I do stuff. I do it by eye, and you know, it looks fairly close to me. So the rest of it, like I said in the other video when I was cutting stuff, I can make a lot of it up in the alignment if I have to, as long as the wheels are centered, the height is relatively good, and it's square as far as bolting into the car, which it's pretty close. Like I said, this one bolt hole right here, just I gotta take the K-member and just, it literally hits the threads of the bolt. So this part of the bolt goes through and it stops right here, and it won't let it pass. So I'm just gonna clean up, what is that? I don't even know if that's a 1/16 of an inch. It's literally in the corner that it hits with the bolt hole down here. So if you're looking at the bolt hole, you drop this in, it hits like right where it's hitting right now, basically on that K-member bolt. So yeah, I'm just going to take a Dremel, clean that up a little bit, put the K-member, or raise the K-member up, slide the bolt through. As long as the bolt goes in, it's getting sent. This was popping when I was welding it. Probably the heat moving it. So probably moved on me, because I had these bolts where they would fall in. This side didn't do any of that. It was just solid, good. But it's the name of the game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and this side kind of lost, this side kind of won. So it's not a dire thing. I mean, these cars are just crap. It's basically a bunch of tin spot welded together as far as the frame and everything goes. That's why they twist and the doors get where they don't shut. This car twists so bad. If I park it in a driveway, before I welded the rear, if I park this in a driveway or a parking lot and I turned the wheel full lock and pulled up and stopped, put it in park, got out, the doors didn't want to shut. I had to actually pull my car, straighten the wheel, pull it forward straight to shut the door. So I got to fix this frame rail, which I told you guys back down in here. That's probably why this one's so bad. This car is going to be better than it was by far by the time I'm done. It might not be a perfect job. It might not be a beautiful job. Like I said 100 times, it's no showpiece. But it's another car saved, and it's a Fairmont wagon that's saved. So it's not even a Mustang. It's a Ford Fairmont wagon that will be on the road, living however long it lives after I'm done with this crap. So that's what's more important to me, is trying to keep it around, trying to save them so they're not all crushed or in the junkyard or sitting. I'm on the talk because I got 3 cars sitting other than this one that I'm working on. But eventually, hopefully, they'll all run. That's my goal. One of my goals in life is to have all my cars running at one time. But, you know, hopefully we'll have this thing done in, what's today's date? 22nd. I would love a month. It's got to be close to a month, because November 2nd, this car has to drive about an hour away. So hopefully I can get everything I need, get the car back together with the cam in it, the 5-speed swap in it, the floor. I am going to look at it, but I might not fix it at the moment. This side I would like to at least tend to and either start fixing it, but I'm not 100% sure I want to tackle that before I take this car to that car show. I'm not expecting to win any prizes with this thing. I'm just going just to cruise up with some friends. That's my main goal. I got a little group of people I want to cruise up with. Want to have a good time, and you know, spend time with the family, my friends, cruise the car, do the things that we like to do. So that's the main goal for this. So I apologize that you guys didn't get to see this. Really nothing great to see though. Like the other day I made an hour video of me walking back and forth, cutting stuff. Today it was grinding, trimming those pieces, tack welding them in. A lot of in and out with the K-member. I had to pull the K-member out of the other car. A lot of getting up back and forth for tools. My dad was actually here and gave me a hand, which was a huge help, just because I didn't have to move as much. You know, when you're crawling in and out of the engine bay like I was the other day, it wears on you. So it was a little bit less than that, at least. Also, I took the front bumper off the car, so that made it a little bit more accessible. That had to come off when I cut those inner aprons and frame rails out. So it's kind of a good thing I didn't record, because I would have been live recording and I had to run the Lowe's to get Sawzall blades, because one of them broke. So there probably would have been like 2 or 3 videos on this thing, because also dinner was made, went and ate dinner, came back, things like that. So it would have been like a 3-segment live for really stuff you guys don't need to see. It's pretty cut and dry. You know, if you know anything about a little bit of fabrication, I just put the metal behind the strut tower, the stuff that was going behind there. Like the one plate was real big, so I just marked it, trimmed it down, and kept fitting it, so it fit in halfway decent. The other one I cut, as you saw, a decent amount off, so it fit right in. The other one took a little bit more trimming, because the way the strut towers are, they're not equally molded the same. They're bent differently, so they have different fitment for the plates that I put in. So that's pretty much it as far as this goes at the moment. I did take the brake calipers The one sitting on the ground. The other one is completely off of the car. Just because that line got cut and nothing leaked out of it. So I was like, well, screw it. Might as well get this out of my way. I don't think I showed you guys this part. I did this the other night. Got the dash all apart. 5-speed pedals are mocked up. They're not 100% in because the booster's not in yet. And actually the booster here. I don't know if you remember, this was gold before. So I took some paint and just shot it. It's an ugly job, but it's a booster, you know, so it'll look halfway decent in the car. Like I said, it's not a show prize. This is a car that's going to get driven, and if it runs well, it's going to get driven a lot. So, especially after I fix stupid crap like this window and everything else. Once it's nice, I want to drive this thing all over the place. I'll take it to work on cool days. I'd really like to put air back in it. Heat, which the heat's already in it. I gotta probably pull the heater out, clean it. Probably put a new heater core and everything in it. That's way down the road. For now, I'm just going to run the car how it is the rest of the year. After fixing this stuff, I'd like to get the floors fixed before next year. And then next year, I'm probably going to enjoy it as I do these other cars. So that's at least the plan. I want to enjoy something. So a car should be quick enough to have fun with, fun enough to drive, that it keeps me content. Want to put full exhaust on it. So that's another thing I'm going to have to do. Like I said, for the show, I'm not even worried about that. I'm going to just run the headers with the Pro Chamber and leave it at that, probably, unless I have time to just make exhaust. But see how much time I have. Hopefully I can get this done. I still got to get the motor all apart. I got to pull the trans out of the other car because I'm just going to steal that out of the parts car we acquired. I'm going to steal the 5-speed out of that. It was good. I drove the car down the road. It felt okay, so I'm just going to toss it in the car and borrow it. Maybe keep it as a spare. I'm not sure yet. And then I'll build my trans, because building the trans and doing all this stuff, putting the motor together with the cam, and it's a lot of work in a month. You know, this isn't whatever that show was back in the day where with Chip Foose, where they take the car and they had only so much time to build it or whatever it was. I can't remember the name of that show. Overhaul. This isn't overhauling. This is real life. I don't have a crew to come over here and knock out 15 different things, so this is one man with a couple hands once in a while, you know. And mostly that'll be my dad. I got another guy, Corey, who he helps when he can, but you know, it's hard for people to get out here, and especially because Corey's far away. He's about an hour away. Matt comes out and helps once in a while. My buddy Kyle was giving me a hand on it a while back when I was doing the starter, getting me tools and stuff. So there's a couple guys that stop by, but it's hard. Those guys at least try. But I got guys that live literally 10 minutes up the street, and they make posts on Facebook about how they wish they had car friends to do car stuff with, and then where they say, hey, I'll help you out, and then you hit them up and, oh, I can't. So that's pretty much it. Trying to knock it out. Made some decent progress. I was really hoping to have the car rolling by next weekend. I don't know if I can get the materials needed and the other bull crap I need to do it. I would kind of like to change the brakes on the car. The front rotor that was on it, the studs stripped. I really don't feel like buying rotors. Required the other car. I was thinking about snagging the GT stuff off of that. This way it has a little bit bigger brake system on it. Granted, they don't seem to stop really much better, but I look at it as it's a 92 or whatever that car is. It's a little newer, so it'll be easier to get parts for. So I might take the spindles, the brakes, all that stuff off of that car. Not 100% sure yet if I'm going to do that. But I'm contemplating doing that, putting them on this car. Or if I can find rotors, because I think these are 10 or 10.5-inch rotors on this car. I would put rotors on it too, so I just got to see what I can do. Unless I can find some LX spindles that somebody has laying around with the brakes and everything that they don't want. I really don't want to spend money on that stuff if I can help it, because that makes the budget of the car go up. Really all I need is one rotor. I have calipers and everything. However, I would like to fix some of the brake lines that they got going on in this car. So it's a big project. The car needs a lot. It's going to need more after I do all this. You know, other crap, suspension, rear, torque box reinforcements, all that stuff. So one step at a time. So we'll get this done and then work on the next thing. And just keep knocking stuff out and try to get our list chopped down. And like I said, hopefully by November this thing will be done. So, well, that pretty much sums it up, guys. We'll cut this off here, I guess. Thank you for watching. If you like this stuff, like and subscribe. I appreciate all you guys that comment and have been subscribing lately. So, thanks for following the project. Gotta figure out how to put stuff in a playlist. That way I can put all the strut tower stuff together. So I'd like to do that for you guys. That way if anybody needs to go look at it for some reason, they can. But other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Till then, thanks again for watching. See you guys later.